A couple of days ago, I posted about Las Vegas Golden Knights goalie Carter Hart. Now, I'm not woke, far from it. I don't know if I believe completely in the Me Too movement because while it's obviously critically important, there are cases where innocent men can get railroaded because of Me Too. I posted because there was some attention recently to the fact that Carter Hart was seen wearing a Free Alberta t-shirt. He's from Edmonton, for those of you that don't know. Now, for the record, I support Alberta's referendum. I think that that province gets a raw deal from this country. So, yeah, I'm curious to see how residents vote. Anyway, I found it interesting that Hart gets vocal about sovereignty, but he says nothing about something else, something way more important, something he was involved in, and something he should speak out about. And four of his teammates from the 2018 Canadian junior team were acquitted a couple years ago of sexual assault. And like I said in my post, let's agree that they weren't guilty. Let's assume that if nothing else, they were not guilty because that is what the courts decided. But let's go one step further and let's assume they weren't guilty because they didn't sexually assault the young woman. Let's agree that in some cases, men can be accused of something they didn't do. And let's, for argument's sake, that's the case here. So they and Carter Hart didn't do anything criminal. But did they do something wrong? Yeah, they did. 5 somewhat famous hockey players who had participated on a world stage in a hotel room paid for by Hockey Canada with a solo drunk female. That was wrong. Peer pressure involved, alcohol involved. Yeah, these men didn't commit rape in that sense, like I said. Let's agree for argument's sake that they didn't commit sexual assault. They did take advantage of a woman in a vulnerable situation. Whether she put herself in that situation or not, as was argued in court, isn't the point. The point is, for me at least, and for a lot of people, that not one of these dudes stepped up and said, this is wrong, stop. They didn't stop it then. And in this case, with Las Vegas Golden Knights goalie Carter Hart, still they're not saying what they did was wrong, even if it wasn't found to be criminal. And I get it. Sometimes women throw themselves at professional athletes. And trust me, I've had a few people message me since my post. That's not the point, folks. The point is, in this case, 5 guys, 1 girl. If anyone says that these guys did nothing wrong, all I can do is shake my head. And now, still to this day, no statements from them about their actions. That Carter Hart's actions as a role model, and even more importantly now as a very famous pro athlete who can make a difference, nothing. When Carter Hart was signed by the Las Vegas Golden Knights in October 2025, this is what he said at his press conference.
I'm beyond grateful, excited, and honored to be a part of the Golden Knights. Got a great skate today out with Berkey and a few guys. But it's been a long road to get back to this point, and to get back to playing the game of hockey, the game that I love. And I've been out of the game for a year and a half now. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot. I'm just excited to move forward. I've heard nothing but great things about the city, the community, the fan base, the organization, and I got to meet a lot of people here today, and I'm so excited to get the chance to play in front of them and for them, and just get to show the community my true character and who I really am and what I'm about.
You mentioned some of the things you've heard, but why Vegas overall?
I've thought about it a lot with my family, my agent. I've heard a lot of great things from players that have played here in the past, current players, and they've all spoken very highly about the organization, the community here, and the culture that they've established here. And it was very intriguing for me, and was just looking for a fresh start. And I'm excited to get things going here.
Did you expect any lashback or negative feedback from fans?
Like I said, I'm looking forward to moving ahead here, and getting back to playing the game of hockey that I love, and showing the community here what I'm really about and my true character and who I am.
Then, when he was pressed on what he meant by showing people who he was, this is what he said.
You talked about your true character and what you want to show that. How do you plan to show that to this new fan base? And obviously, you're excited about getting back on the ice, but beyond that, how do you show your true character to this fan base that may not be excited?
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot in the community in Philadelphia. I loved my time there. The younger generation of athletes and hockey players and my community back home, everybody knows. I think for me, in that way, just being involved in the community, doing what I can, help younger players, teach younger athletes, and just be a helping hand in the community and do what I can to show who I really am.
I'm sure you have specific plans for that.
We haven't talked yet. That'll be for discussion later on with the staff.
He said nothing. This is a very famous professional athlete in one of the most famous cities in the world. He has an opportunity. He has or had a responsibility to speak out about how an athlete should conduct themselves, to speak out about how a man should do the right thing when he sees a situation where a woman is in a vulnerable situation. He has or had an opportunity to do it when the world was watching with microphones in his face, and he didn't. But he did wear a shirt speaking up for a province's right to decide its sovereignty. Folks, I'm not so much criticizing Carter Hart for decisions he made when he was 20 in an alcohol-filled room with peer pressure and hormones in control. Let's give him a pass on that for now. I'm criticizing him for his actions or inactions since, as a professional athlete who could make a difference. An athlete who can speak to young athletes, who can speak to young men because of his soapbox. Listening to Carter Hart's first press conference, I guess it's pretty clear he doesn't think he did anything wrong. He talked about hockey and helping young men in hockey. Well, you know what, Carter Hart? There are professional hockey players who didn't do what you did, who can speak to young men about hockey. You should be speaking to them about more than that. You should be speaking out to them about doing the right thing and protecting women who might be in a situation that they'll regret the next day or they might not be safe in. Yeah, the court said you weren't guilty, so no harm, no foul, right? Well, I guess all I can say is I'll just say go Canes, and I hope they light you up, Carter Hart.
In October, when you signed, you said you've learned, you've grown, every experience comes through the trial. What did you mean by that, Ben, and how have you grown maybe in that months?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot since then, and I've been able to meet a lot of good people in the community. And I think the Vegas Golden Knights Foundation has done a really good job of making it easy for me to integrate into the community and meet a lot of cool people. And just really fortunate to be here in Vegas. And it's a great culture of people. And like I said, I've met a lot of cool people and just very fortunate to be here in Las Vegas and with this group.